You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
That's the wine and diner with kings and queens.
You're looking at the man. You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Wednesday, October the 9th, 9:30 p.m. on the dot. Started just on time. We're just in time. Welcome to episode 102 of the show, the Drew Yari Show, and I'm your host, Yari. So WWE's not going to do any overrun for Raw and Smackdown, but they're doing it for NXT. Not that I'm complaining, but they could have let us know that in advance. Been an interesting week for wrestling in the past 7 days. I don't know if interesting. Well, it started off not as good as we maybe wanted it to be. I mean, with Hell in a Cell. What is really there to say about Hell in a Cell? I mean, what else can we say that hasn't already been said? I know this is like 3 days too late. I don't do pay-per-view post shows. I just don't. I don't really have the time to do it. But I mean, I guess we can maybe do a quick little review of Hell in a Cell. I watched it at my job. Until March, I cannot ask for days off. I'm on a 6-month kind of probation thing for my current job, where I just can't ask for any days off until March 20th. Until March 20th, I can ask for days off. Other than that, I have to work Sundays, which means I miss pay-per-view events. But never fear, I'm allowed to have my phone, at my desk. Just as long as I'm actually doing my job. While that's happening, I have the shows on. So on Sunday, I had Hell in a Cell on while I was at my desk. The first match, Natalya and Lacey Evans in the pre-show. Natalya wins. So is Lacey just going to get buried? I mean, I thought they were trying to make her into a thing. Like the next big, like the next top, female in the company. But she's jobbing out to Natty for whatever reason. And can Natty just retire, please? And I don't hate Natty. I've already made my thoughts clear about Natty. I think she's a sweetheart. But she just needs to retire. I have no interest in seeing her in the ring anymore. Retire and be a trainer. Or an agent. You can be an agent or trainer. Those would be good jobs for her. Just please get her out of the ring. And then the very next night on Raw, she ends up beating her again in a last woman standing match. So, what did Lacey do? Did Lacey piss someone off in the back? She must have pissed either someone wanted to fuck her and she said no, and now she's being punished, or I don't know. I really have no ifs, ands, or I can't figure this out. This woman main evented a pay-per-view. She main evented a pay-per-view with the WWE champion and the women's champion and Baron Corbin, and now she's dropping a Natty twice. So I don't know what to make of this. I like Lacey. She seems like someone that can only get better. As long as she keeps, having matches, she seems like someone who can only get better as time goes on. But I don't know. I don't know why she's getting buried. Next match, or actually the first match on the card. There's only one pre-show match. It was weird. If you guys remember, they only had 4 matches advertised before Sunday. And then Sunday is when they announced, what is it? Like 6 matches in a row, like 6 more matches. So, we'll get to the rest of the night. Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks. I thought this was good. It was interesting to see that they actually took advantage of the cage and didn't just have, a wrestling match inside the cage. They actually took advantage of the cage, and they actually allowed these two to just beat the shit out of each other. There's an interesting, there's an interesting part in the match where, Becky gets, chain, like some type of chain wraps around her hand and starts beating Sasha with it, which I thought was pretty cool. What else? She props a steel chair on the cage and props Sasha on the chair and then runs right into her. And, what's it called? Sasha went through the table. So it was a good match. I know there's a couple of people I know that weren't crazy about it. But a lot of people think that might be the match of the night. I think so. I just had a brain fart. It looks like Sasha's kind of done. All this momentum that she had coming back, it just seems like it's gone away. I don't get WWE's thought process where it's like, let's bring back somebody that's been gone for 4 months and make it look like they're going to win, but they're not going to win. Like, make them look competitive, but they're not actually going to win. Have them cry about everything. Like, have them cry when they lose. Realistically, who's going to take the title off of Becky? Not to say that Becky is Brock Lesnar, but realistically, who is going to take the title off of Becky? I mean, the only real name I can think of is Ronda, and Ronda hasn't came back yet. I mean, I don't even know if she is going to come back now, I mean, she'll come back, but I don't know how long that'll take her. Granted, there's that whole thing where she nearly cut her damn finger off, filming that TV show. So, I think if anyone is going to beat Becky, it's going to be Ronda. I mean, it makes sense. Like, that's a WrestleMania match right there. That's the match people actually wanted to see, and not Charlotte, because the argument, with the triple threat, women's match at Mania was that match screamed of should have been a singles match. And Charlotte was clearly added in the match because they needed something for her to do. And granted, Charlotte and Ronda had unfinished business. But, the match that people were looking forward to more were Ronda and Becky. The back and forth squabble on Twitter and Raw was just Ronda and Becky. I don't recall Charlotte really getting any words in. It was just Ronda and Becky. That it was more entertaining to watch those two talk. And we already know what happened last year at Survivor Series, with Nia Jax and whatnot. But yeah, I think Sasha's finished. I don't see what else they're going to have her do. They're more than likely going to have her and Bayley maybe challenge for the tag titles or whatever, but I guess we're going to find out some on Friday on the draft, and then on Monday. So. And next match, Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. Good match. A match I didn't expect to be as good as it was. Usually what, these kind of forced, formation of tag teams, or that's not the right way to put it. Usually a lot of these, tag matches where you have a team that's already established as a tag team versus a team that was just put together, they'll go different ways. It'll just be really sloppy. It'll just be average. This was actually very good. A really good back and forth. Daniel Bryan has managed to finally do something that The Rock couldn't do, that John Cena couldn't do, or AJ Styles or anyone else couldn't do. He has finally made Roman Reigns a likable babyface. the fans have finally accepted Roman Reigns. It's been said that fans have been trying to boo Roman Reigns, but it just seems forced. Because, in all actuality, how are you going to boo a guy that has leukemia? Like, you can't. You really can't. But it also seems like it's just like, with Roman, a lot of this has humbled him. You see Roman, he just seems like a guy. They're pushing him like a guy. They're not trying to push him like a character or anything else. They're pushing him as a guy. And that's maybe the best way you can push somebody. Just push him as a human being. Human beings usually get better reactions from people. And not trying to compare. You got Stone Cold got over because that was him. That was him in and out of the ring. He just seemed like a regular guy. Daniel Bryan got over because he was a regular guy. CM Punk got over because he was a regular guy. Roman Reigns is now over. He's their most over babyface, and not just in SmackDown, but in the company, because he's just a regular guy. I honestly thought Harper and Roman were going to win because they're trying to make him into a thing. So where do they go from here? Rowan and Harper. And I like both of them. But, kind of just back to the drawing board where it's like, when they try to get these guys over, like, anytime they try to make these guys into a thing, like they try to make them to these badasses, for some reason they drop them out, and it's just like, now it's back to the drawing board. John Draper made a very good point about Rowan and Harper, where with big guys in wrestling, you got to push them like they're big guys. Rowan and Harper should have been like running through motherfuckers. They should have been, just destroying the competition to where anytime you saw them on the screen, you're like, oh shit, it's these guys. It's kind of like, the Road Warriors. The Road Warriors ran through competition. They were tough-looking motherfuckers. Harper and Rowan looked like tough motherfuckers, but they would always job these guys out. They make them lose. Again. And again and again. Until they got to the point where people were like, so they can be beat. I guess they're really not that bad. So, and again, I like them. I like Rowan even more now. Who would have thought he would have been, the best talker out of the group? He's the best talker out of the group, and, Harper's the best worker. So, I like him. I want to see him succeed, but I don't really know where else you can go from here. And what do you do with Daniel Bryan and Roman now? Like, what does Roman do? Like, I get, and I guess, like I said before, we're not going to find out until Friday and Monday, with the draft, what they're going to do with them, where they're going to put them. I don't know if they're going to be in the title picture. I mean, I see Roman, winning the title at Mania. I mean, that'd be interesting. It seems like the only logical thing to do. And then Daniel Bryan just seems like he's, I don't know, Daniel Bryan's always going to be over, regardless. He's always going to be over with the fans, whether he's a heel or a face. And whatever you put him in, he's always going to succeed and knock it out of the fucking park. So. Next match, Randy Orton versus Ali. Boring. Just boring. I have no interest in watching these two in anything. And I've defended Randy Orton for a long time. Now I'm done. Randy looks like somebody who just clearly does not want to be there. I think if Randy knew he never had to wrestle anymore or work for the WWE, he's just like, oh, well, I can just go back home to my hot wife and my kids and just play Call of Duty and occasionally drop the N-word. Oh, man. He looks like he does not want to be there. And it's sad because Randy has been on before. Like, when Randy's on, he's on. Like, when he actually wants to try, he's good. But lately, it just seems like he doesn't want to try anymore. Like, he just wants to just kind of, make his paycheck and leave. So, And supposedly he signed like a big ass fucking deal with the company. So you're in for more Randy Orton for, I don't know, the next like what, 6 or 7 years. And then Ali, I don't hate him, but it's just like, I don't see anything about him that really stands out. You know what I mean? Like, he's kind of the essential, flip. I'm going to do flips, I'm going to kick. And that's really about it. I think, you know what? I think what kind of, soured him. I don't want to say sour. Fucking I'm going to say sour. I think kind of soured him on the fans, also to me, is when they started doing those weird, Batman vigilante promos. Where he's like following guys leaving a fucking bar. Or I think that's what kind of killed it. That's what kind of killed his heat. Those promos made 0 sense. Or those vignettes made 0 sense. So Ali, just keep him off the main roster. Put him in NXT. Just put him in NXT. He shouldn't be on the main roster at all. Kabuki Warriors. Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross for the WWE Women's Championships, and Kabuki Warriors won, which I was actually surprised because this match was actually thrown together. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't recall like there being like a setup to a possible match or a feud between these two. Like this match was like literally just thrown together, and Asuka turning heel in the match. Like, she spit green mist in Nikki Cross's face, and, they pin her. And now they're the tag champions, which I'm actually thrilled about because I like both of these girls. I love Asuka. Kairi Sane I like. I'm glad they're taking that fucking pirate gimmick off of her. Like, that's stupid. Pirates have no business in wrestling. Period. That's gonna be the tagline for the show. Pirates have no business in wrestling. Love Kairi Sane, cute as a button. Throws a pretty mean elbow drop. Probably the best elbow drop in the biz right now. Better than Randy? Is it better than Randy Savage's? No, but it's the best one going right now. Glad they have it. Alexa Bliss, she's good to look at, but just not very good in the ring. Nikki Cross, God bless her heart, she's carrying this tag team. She has the impossible. She has these impossible feat. She has to carry Alexa Bliss and Alexa Bliss's ass. Literally and figuratively. In this tag team. So. And then the very next night, I didn't see this part, but the Kabuki Warriors came out and they just, talked to the fans in Japanese. And from what I heard, I kind of had mixed reactions, but I think the best way, if you're a foreign heel, the best way to get on the American crowd's nerves is to just talk in your language. And just shit talk people in your language. From what I heard, they were saying some pretty non-PG stuff in their language. I can just picture Funaki just going, oh, damn. Can you just imagine Funaki standing next to, Kevin Dunn or Vince McMahon just sweating the whole time, and Vince is like, what are they saying? And he's just like, they are saying, we are better than the Americans. That sounded a little bit too much like Triple H, but, and then Alexa Bliss came out, and Nikki Cross acting like badass faces, which is just like, ugh, whatever. Viking Raiders and Braun Strowman versus AJ Styles and the OC. Yawn. Just didn't care. And it's sad because I love AJ Styles, but AJ Styles needs to dump this whole OC gimmick. With AJ Styles, he's already said that this contract is going to be his last wrestling contract. So he has about, a year and a half left. Why not just continue your singles career? Why continue with this dumb OC gimmick? I like Carl Anderson, but Luke Gallows is just god-awful. Just god-awful. And then Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is... They've ruined Braun Strowman. They've made him into a complete joke. I mean, yeah, he still gets a reaction, but eh. And we'll talk about the whole Tyson Fury thing in a bit. And then the Viking Raiders, it seems like they're getting better. Not that they were bad, but the reaction seems like it's getting better more and more. But the match ended with Strowman punching AJ in the face. So, anyways, next match, Chad Gable versus King Corbin. Chad Gable winning by roll-up, I believe. Another really good match. It's like in 2019, Baron Corbin has. It seems like Baron Corbin has been on the. He's had the best matches of his career. I mean, granted, he's had good people to work with. At Extreme Rules, main evented with Seth Rollins, and for the first time, actually acted like a heel. And then the King of the Ring happened. Again, has had the best matches in his career. Who did he wrestle against in the King of the Ring? He had a good match against Miz. And then, Chad Gable. Chad Gable, again, another guy who they're trying to make him into something. I don't get this whole Shorty G thing, though. Like, the whole thing about, he's little. He's a little guy, he's a short guy. I don't get why they're going there. It doesn't work. Like, it's not even a heel thing to say. It's just kind of a stupid thing to say. It doesn't piss people off or make people have sympathy because, you've already had short guys as your world champion before. You had Rey Mysterio as your champion. Rey Mysterio is shorter than Chad Gable. I think Daniel Bryan and Chad Gable are the same height. And then you had Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero is under 6 feet. He was a champion. Chris Benoit. We can't say Chris Benoit anymore. Shit, I just scratched a scab on my foot. Fuck. So, why are we doing this whole, he's a short guy gimmick? It's annoying. It's not funny. It's not funny, and it's not a heel thing to do. It's just annoying. Like, it makes you sound like some type. You know what this is? You know what Baron Corbin in this situation is? Baron Corbin in this situation is Roger Klotz from Doug. If there's any Doug fans out there that get that reference, thank you, because that joke was free. He's Doug in this situation. He's Roger Klotz, and he's making fun of Chad for being short. But whatever. Chad wins the match, and then after which Chad makes a promo in the back, and then King Corbin or Baron Corbin attacks him, beats the shit out of him, and throws him in the hallway, which I saw coming. Charlotte Flair defeated Bayley by submission to become a 10-time WWE Women's Champion, or she won the SmackDown Women's Championship. Kind of saw that coming. As much as I like Bayley is just not. She's not cutting it. She hasn't been cutting it for a very long time. I mean, she kind of reinvigorated her look, or not her look, but her persona with the, is she a heel or is she not a heel? And I guess the safest bet right now is to put it on Charlotte, because Charlotte is, one of the top women in the company. She gets a reaction, and Bayley's just not cutting it. And am I mad that Charlotte's champion? No. I like Charlotte. She's been on the main roster for how many years? 4 years, and she's a 10-time champion, which, yeah, it's ridiculous, because it seems like, people will be like, oh, did you know, what was I going to say? I'm trying to make a really good comparison. It's like, oh yeah, The Miz is a 8 or 9-time Intercontinental Champion. It's like, well, nowadays titles, it seems like titles are switched around for just really weird reasons. Where it's like, they're either used to get someone over, or they're, used because this one guy couldn't get over, and now we're going to put it back on the guy who was already over. You know what I mean? Or we're going to put it on someone who's just a safe bet. Especially since we're on Fox, we got to put titles on guys that seem more legit. Brock Lesnar, which we'll get to that in a bit. So yeah, Charlotte as the champ and Becky as champ are safe bets because Becky's over as fuck. Everyone loves Becky. I love Becky. Charlotte, she's a safe bet because she looks like someone who can carry that woman's championship. She looks like someone, if you're a casual fan and you're turning on Fox, you're turning on Smackdown on Fox, you see Charlotte as the women's champion, you go, she looks like she can beat the fuck out of everybody. She looks like someone you don't want to mess with. If you put it on Bayley, it's going to be like, she looks like a kid. She looks kind of like an immature girl with an unusually fat ass. But Charlotte being the champion is fine with me. I have no problems about it. 10-time champion, man. Okay, my girl was sexy. Now we get to the main event. Oh boy, the main event. Universal Championship match. Hell in a Cell. The Fiend versus Seth Rollins. Ending in disqualification. Or match stoppage. I think that's the term. So basically how this match started out. Let me just give you an entire rundown of this match. Seth Rollins is throwing chairs, throwing kendo sticks, throwing ladders, and the Fiend just gets back up from everything. He's curb stomping the shit out of him, like 86 times, and the Fiend just gets back up. They're trying to build the Fiend as Freddy Krueger, not Freddy Krueger, but almost like an Undertaker, Kane from '97, where no matter how hard you hit them, no matter what you hit them with, they're just going to get back up and act like nothing happened. Which I'm just like, huh. Which I thought was interesting, because I'm like, are they going to just squash Seth? Like, it looks like they're going to squash Seth. Like, to me, I was honestly thinking, is the Fiend going to win? It looks like the Fiend is going to win. It looks like Seth is going to, do his curb stomp 26 times, and the Fiend will just kick out. And he would kick out after fucking one. And on occasion, he kicked out at two. So here's what happens. Seth puts a chair on his face, on the Fiend's face, and then puts a ladder on his face, and then gets a toolbox, just a random toolbox, and starts hitting him with it, and puts that on his face, and then brings out a sledgehammer. And he's about to hit him with it, and the ref goes, no, just don't, and a Hell in a Cell match. Which, looking back on it, interesting facts about Hell in a Cell. Triple H hit Vince McMahon on the back with a sledgehammer and broke it. And didn't he hit Chris Jericho in the back with I don't know if it was a sledgehammer or a barbed wire baseball bat on top of the fucking cage. But no sledgehammers, no. So Seth has a little bit of to think about, should I do it or should I not do it? I won't do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fucking do it. And then he proceeds to hit Bray in the face, quote unquote, while Bray has all this shit covered over him. And then the referee stops the match. And Seth looks appalled. He looks appalled by his actions. He went too far. Seth went too far. He went too far. So then they raise the cage up. And refs come in, agents come in, EMTs come in to check on the Fiend, which I thought was laughable. He's supposed to be this supernatural being, but they're carrying him out on a stretcher. And then the Fiend gets up and Mandible Claws Seth, and the lights go out, and the fans proceed to chant bullshit, restart the match, and then AEW. Oh, and they chanted refund too. For the second fucking year in a row, at Hell in a Cell, WWE has decided to fuck with the main event again. Because last year, if you guys remember, Hell in a Cell, the main event was Braun versus Roman. And Brock Lesnar comes in and destroys both of them. And they just end the match. Nobody gets pinned, nobody's submitted, there's no knockout. Well, both of them are knocked out. But now, for the second fucking year in a row, they have fucked with the match again. Which, I don't get why they do. How is that something that they thought of and thought it was a good idea? The talk is that Vince was in the back, and that was his idea. And it went exactly the way he wanted it to. And he was laughing. He was laughing at everybody booing. Which, it seemed like he was the only one laughing, because the talk is that everybody else was pissed off. So, you take a character in The Fiend, which for the past 2 months has been the only successful, gimmick character, going in your company, and you bury him. He's not buried. You fucked with that character. You mess with him. At the expense of Seth, who's probably one of the worst babyface champions I've ever seen. It has to be the worst. I would say he's worse than Kofi Kingston. And we'll get to Kofi Kingston in a bit, but it's just... Here's the argument I made. So, you wanted to protect Seth. Okay, cool. You wanted to protect The Fiend. Okay, cool. I was very much against this match, because why did you already hot shot, The Fiend in this match? Why not wait until Mania? Because I was genuinely kind of scared for this, for how this match was going to end. The Fiend should have got his WrestleMania moment and won the title there. Here's how I pictured it: The Fiend would be at Royal Rumble, and he would dominate there and win, and go to WrestleMania, challenge for the title, and beat Seth or whoever. They decided to hotshot him into Hell in a Cell, I guess because they want to sell tickets. And you proceed to not only make your champion look like shit, but you make the hottest gimmick going in your company look like shit. And you act like you could give two fucks. It just... I don't know. I mean, the talk has always been Vince needs to leave. Vince needs to step down. He hopefully, he focuses more time on NXT, not NXT, but XFL rather than the company. But I don't know. In my opinion, Vince needs to step down. How he thought that was going to work, judging by what happened last year, is just, it's mind-boggling. Why didn't someone like Paul Heyman, who's supposed to be the head writer of Raw, and The Fiend and Seth Rollins and even Triple H had the fucking, nuts to just tell Vince, this is not a good idea, it's not going to work. I mean, granted, at the end of the day, it's Vince's show. They're always going to do what Vince wants, but if you're the fucking champion, if you're the world fucking champion, you need to realize you can have the fucking clout and the pull to look at something and go, this fucking sucks. I'm not doing it. Shawn Michaels was that way. Steve Austin was that way. Seth, for whatever reason, is a company man that doesn't want to rock the boat. Paul Heyman, supposedly was known as someone that, would piss Vince off in creative. But did he tell Vince anything? Did he tell Vince this is not a good fucking idea? So yeah, Seth is just ruined. If Seth wasn't already ruined, he's ruined now. I mean, it's a good thing that they kept him off the show on Monday, because they barely mentioned what happened. They just showed a clip of what happened, but they barely mentioned it. So they kept Seth off, and then they kept the Fiend off, and they had to delete a tweet, showing that Survivor Series is going to be Seth and the Fiend supposedly. So maybe that's something they're gonna announce. But to say this was, a lot of people say this is the worst pay-per-view ever. The main event was the worst thing about the show. Everything else in the show was fine. The matches were fine. The main event is what killed the show. 5 out of 10. That just based off the main event alone, 5 out of 10. WWE needs to just get rid of the whole Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Go back to making Hell in a Cell something that was more organic and genuine. Where if, two guys are fighting and the guy says, I want to see you inside Hell in a Cell. As a fan, you're like, oh shit, this just got personal. Hell in a Cell matches were meant as like a cap off of a feud. As like a way to end a feud. Now it's there's nothing special about Hell in a Cell anymore. There's nothing special about TLC anymore. There's nothing special about Extreme Rules matches anymore because they only happen at pay-per-views. Just get rid of these gimmick pay-per-views and just go back to making the gimmick matches, mean something. But yeah, Hell in a Cell, pretty not good. What else could we talk about? Yeah, SmackDown. It's been a week, guys, so I'm going to try and go over everything as quick as I can. I want to try and get done in an hour, or hour 15 tops. So SmackDown happened. SmackDown premiering on Fox to a 3.8. The last time a WWE program got 3.8 was Raw. Was it Raw 25 in 2018? That was the last time a WWE show saw a rating as high as that, or even close to that. So yeah, the show began with Becky Lynch coming out, and then King Corbin came out and talked shit. Rock comes out, gets a big ass reaction, and they just both go in on Baron and beat the shit out of him. The Rock is what else needs to be said about him? He's a guy. He's just one of those few guys like him and Steve Austin can come out and get a huge fucking pop. And will say the exact same promo that they said 10 years ago. And the crowd will fucking eat it up. Who else can get that reaction? Nobody can get that reaction with The Rock. Yeah, nobody ever will. I challenge you to say anyone in this company working currently can get a reaction. Nobody can. Nobody. It's nobody. And there's the women's tag match, which was, it was what it was. Somebody, what the fuck happened? I mean, the show itself was okay. Everything else was alright, but the main event, Brock Lesnar versus Kofi for the WWE Championship. Kofi being the champion. The bell rings. Kofi goes at Brock. Brock counters it into an F5. 1, 2, 3. Brock Lesnar is not the WWE champion. Which, Brock winning was fine. You need to get the title off of Kofi because Kofi's title reign has not been that great. It was not very good at all. And I love Kofi. The two best things about his title reign: him winning, and the promo in the vignette he showed when he went back to Ghana. Those are the only two good things he did, and also jumping out of the cage. Those are the only three memorable things about his title reign. Other than that, you can't really name anything memorable. Him versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens hitting 5 power moves and Kofi getting in trouble in paradise. Samoa Joe. Or was it Samoa Joe? Dolph Ziggler coming back, saying, "It should have been me. It should have been me." And then Kofi beating him twice. Samoa Joe, same thing. Power move. Submission. Trouble in paradise. Randy Orton, same thing. Randy Orton, power move. RKO, power move. The SummerSlam ends in DQ because Randy stared at his son. And then Night of Champions, he hits a RKO. And then Trouble in Paradise. So you weren't gonna do that shit with Brock. I think I would have died. I think I would have laughed and shit myself if he would have done that to Brock. Beat him in 7-8 seconds. Again, Brock winning was fine. It made sense. Fox needed a guy that looked legit. Brock's legit. Whatever you want to say about him, Brock is legit. When Brock wants to work, he'll work. And if you give him someone that can actually work, he'll work. Like with Daniel Bryan, Finn Balor, AJ Styles. Those guys, are good workers, and they made Brock look like $1 million. Not that he doesn't already look like $1 million, but they were able to bring out the best in him. Daniel Bryan probably being the best match that he's had since his match with since his match with CM Punk at SummerSlam in 2013. That was probably that was probably his last good match before Daniel Bryan came along. His match with AJ was good, but Daniel, I think, has probably been the match with Daniel Bryan, the Kurt Angle match at WrestleMania, and then CM Punk are in my opinion, his 3 best matches. Alright, so here's my only problem with the whole thing with Kofi. I mean, I'll just make it simple. I thought they maybe should have let Kofi get some offense in. They could have maybe made it 5 minutes. 5-minute match, have, Brock just go out there and victimize Kofi. Victimize! Like Paul Heyman would say. Just victimize him, just beat the shit out of him, and then have Kofi make his, small comeback. And then go for a Trouble in Paradise, and it looks like he's gonna beat him, and then he doesn't. And then he goes for another Trouble in Paradise, and then Brock counters it into an F5, beats him 1, 2, 3. I don't know, that's just me. I mean, I would have liked to see Kofi get some offense in to make, him losing the title mean something. And then when he lost, he gets overshadowed by Cain Velasquez, who at first I literally had no clue who that was, because I don't watch MMA, I don't watch UFC. I know names, but I don't watch it. But I've been hearing, Cain Velasquez was going to come to the WWE, that he'd been training, and from what I heard, he's actually pretty good. He's picked up on it. Comes out with Ray. What happened on Raw when Brock just beat the shit out of Ray and his son. Velasquez comes out, and here's what I do know, what I do remember about UFC is that Cain Velasquez beat Brock for the title. And then he not only beat him, he beat the shit out of him. So Cain Velasquez is now in the company, beats the shit out of Brock, Brock leaves, Brock doesn't want to come back in the ring, which I thought was interesting. So, ends with that. I mean, good. This is obviously going to be at that, at Blood Money, Blood Money Part 3, which is on Halloween, which is interesting. They're supposed to make a big announcement this Friday, talking about what happened or what's going to happen. When are these two going to meet up? And by 2, talking about Braun Strowman and I was going to say Tony Storm for some reason. I don't fucking know why. Tyson Fury, who on SmackDown was in the front row during Braun's match, and then Braun, playfully, says, "Hey, you want to go? You want to go?" And then throws Dolph Ziggler at Tyson, and then Tyson, jumps the barricade and wants to fight Braun. They meet up on Raw, gets in his face, and then they go at it, and they empty out, the locker room, security guards and wrestlers to pull them apart. So on Friday, there's supposed to be a big press conference with Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, Cain Velasquez, Braun Strowman, and Tyson Fury. To, I guess, more than likely say, these guys will meet up at, Blood Money Part 3. Which, again, it's for the Saudis. The Saudis, want the best show possible. They want bigger names. They don't care about flips or kicks or suplexes. They just, or what is it, Dragon Thunderbomb or whatever the fuck you want to call it. They just want to see names. And whatever. Good for them. I don't care about it enough to really make an opinion, because I already know who it's for. I already know what the show is for. So, I literally have no clue who Tyson Fury is, because I don't watch boxing. So when I saw him in the front row, I'm like, am I supposed to know who that is? Because I had the volume on mute because I was at work. But I'm just like looking at it, and then he puts his hands up. I'm like, so he's a boxer of some kind? And he's 6'8". He's 6'8". He looks like he's either bigger, or he looks like he's taller or as tall as Strowman. But yeah, I mean, again, it's not for me. It's for the Sox. So there's that. And then Tuesday. Tuesday is, probably the biggest surprise of the week. NWA Power Hour debuted on Tuesday on Facebook and YouTube. And it's filmed inside, I think, the actual studio that NWA was filmed in during the 80s in Georgia. Like the actual fucking studio, because they showed like a little vignette of it where you see Jim Cornette's on commentary, which is awesome. And Jim Cornette looks like he's like about to pee himself, because he's just like fanboying out, like, holy shit, like, this looks like the actual studio. It looks like, except with better chairs. And I like the setup. I really did dig the setup. Obviously I wasn't alive, when all this shit was going on. I've seen clips. I watch old school wrestling. I like it. And it just looks fucking cool. I like it. It's a perfect mix of a nostalgia, with the new school. But not too much new school. This seems like NWA just seems like they're gonna focus more on mat wrestling, more of like the mat technical, bruiser wrestling, which great, fucking great. You're not gonna see guys like Marco Stunt or Darby Allin or Sammy Guevara, which we'll get to him in a bit. You're gonna see guys that just look like guys that look like wrestlers from the 80s, who look like bruisers, who look like someone that can actually whoop your ass in a fight. Which I'm all for. I'm hoping that they get more guys, because it seems like they have a small roster. Because the only people I know by name are... what the fuck's his name? He was Magnus in TNA. What the fuck's his name? He's the champion. Forgetting his fucking name. It'll come to me. He's the NWA champion. And that title looks fucking good. Like, I missed that belt. That's a good looking fucking title. James Storm, who's the North American champion? I believe. I think his name is not Tony Storm. But, I'm forgetting his fucking name. His last name is Storm. The more I watch him, I'm pretty sure I'm going to remember everyone's name. But Dude's in his 50s. He's a history teacher, and he wrestles, and he's actually not bad. He's pretty good. He's very good in the ring. The oldest NWA champion in history, and he's pretty good. I like him. Comes across as a likable guy. Eli Drake from Impact Wrestling. One of the fewer times I've seen him wrestle. Pretty good. And I literally don't know anyone else by name. They had Homicide come in. Homicide and, what is it, Eddie Kingston? Was that his name? Eddie Kingston? And those are really the only names I know. But from what I've seen, because I watched the main event when it happened, and then I watched the whole show earlier. I like what I saw. I really did like what I saw. I wasn't bored. Wasn't looking at my phone. I like the old school look. And again, hopefully they get some more guys. They have a very thin roster. Very thin roster. I mean, granted, they just started out. They're just now starting out, so I'm not... And it's an hour show. So I'm not expecting them, to bring in everybody to get like this big-ass roster that they can fit in an hour. You're just starting out. So, of course, you're going to have a small roster. But hopefully, and I think they will, hopefully, as the more successful the show becomes, maybe they'll get a TV deal. Because I thought they were going to be on TBS. That's the rumor I heard was that they're going to be on TBS. But I guess, Turner was like, well, we already have one, wrestling company. We don't need another. So, whatever. But, again, hopefully it's as successful as I think it will. Mish has been putting this over, like $1 million for the past year. And he's not wrong. From what I've seen, I love it. I love what I see. I love the old school look. Even The Rock likes it. And why would The Rock put over NWA? It would make more sense if he put over WWE because, it's his former company, he has to. But he's putting over another company when he didn't have to. At the end of the day, The Rock, he grew up in the business, so he's going to... It's always good when I see The Rock, remember his roots. I would see him putting over, Kevin Steen before he became Kevin Owens. He put over guys like Ricochet. He's putting over Impact Wrestling. He's putting over Lucha Underground. And now he's putting over NWA. Good for him. But I'm a fan. And my laptop just froze, people. What the fuck just happened? Hello? What the fuck? Hello? So am I even recording on Discord now? Says I'm connected. Hello? Alright, good. I have no idea what the fuck just happened. My screen froze, and then the screen turned off. And now I'm back on. And for whatever reason, it wasn't showing that I was talking. Okay, I'm still left. Good. But yeah, NWA. Oh yeah, we were already kind of segueing into AEW and NXT. Is it me or is NXT just... Well, not NXT. Is AEW just WCW? With a paint job? It's literally just WCW. There's nearly nothing different about it. To each his own. Like what you want. That's my whole thing, is do what makes you happy. Like what you want, but I don't get it. I don't see it. I guess it's because I've been watching WWE for too long, but I don't see it. I don't see what everyone is raving about. I mean, yeah, it's different. It's a lot different from WWE. They wouldn't have just given any wrestling company a TV deal. But I don't see it. I don't see what you guys are seeing. I guess a quick run through of AEW. Show begins with, and I didn't really get a chance to watch it because I was kind of going back and forth, in the kitchen and had NXT on. The show begins with, hey, what's going on, Danny? Same hi to Danny. The show begins with a Private Party versus the Young Bucks in the tag team title tournament. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. In the tag team title tournament, which I saw a lot of people were just raving about. Like, they thought it was fucking hot. Again, I need to watch it. I need to watch it tomorrow because I saw a lot of people were really just, they loved it. They loved what they saw. So I'll definitely check it out tomorrow because I didn't get a chance, because I had it on. Here's the thing: I had NXT on the not NXT. I had NXT playing on my TV, and then I had AEW playing on my phone. So I was just like, it's hard to pay attention to two things at once. But everyone was raving about the match, so I need to watch it tomorrow. And then next, Jericho comes out. Jericho, LAX, they're not called LAX, Sammy Guevara, and then Jake Hager. Or was it Jake Hager or Jake Hager? Come out, and Jericho, proceeds to cut a, entertaining promo, shit talking the fans, and putting over everyone, referring to the group as the Inner Circle. That's the new group, which they already have shirts out, which is pretty fucking fast. Like, that was fast. Introduces everybody, says Sammy Guevara is, sexy. He's a sexy Latin heartthrob, which John Draper killed me. He had the best slide of the night, saying that Sammy Guevara looks like the bad kid villain in a Disney film. There's something about Sammy Guevara that I couldn't put my finger on. I'm like, he looks like somebody. He looks like some of him just doesn't look right to me. He's not bad in the ring, but he's just, I don't really care for him. Like, out of everyone in that group, you had Jake Hager, you had LAX, and you had Jericho, and they all look like badasses. Then you have Sammy Guevara. Like, I don't get it. I don't see it. He introduces him, he introduces LAX as they're scrappers and they're badasses. I love it. And then he introduces Jake Hager. The whole crowd starts chanting, "We the people." And then Jericho just shuts it down, saying, "We the people" is stupid, dumb, and it's dead and buried. It was made by bad creative, which the gimmick actually got over. Like, that was actually a gimmick that got over. What buried it was when the whole thing of that Fox talk show douchebag decides to, shit talk the gimmick, and then Jack Swagger and Dutch Mantel or Zeb Coulter, decide to talk out of character. It's like, you had you had a good thing, but. And now they're called the Inner Circle. So shit talking, Cody Rhodes and his dad, and Dustin. What happened after that? It was a tag women's match with Britt Baker, Rhea, and the other two women that I don't remember their names. Average match. Not a terrible match, but an average match. It was what it was. So I can't really say too much about it. It was what it was. And they have a promo with the Best Friends, which I thought was odd. Darby Allin versus Jimmy Havoc. It was my first time ever seeing these two wrestle. Decent match. I thought Jimmy Havoc should have won. Darby Allin just... I'm not a big guy either, but it's just...
I just these small guys that look like they work at Hot Topic, in their skinny jeans. I just don't buy it. I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't. I'm sure he's very talented, and he seems talented, but he's not doing it for me. He's going to challenge Chris Jericho for the title next week. I wonder who's going to win. John Moxley versus Shawn Spears. Again, another average match. And then after the match, Kenny Omega comes out with a broom covered in barbed wire and a baseball bat covered in barbed wire. And then he decides to give the baseball bat to John Moxley. And then, for whatever reason, Pac, blindsides Kenny Omega with a steel chair. Moxley looks pissed off because he's like, hey, I was about to handle him on my own. And then walks to the back without attacking Kenny. I like Moxley or Ambrose, whatever we choose to call him. But what is so different about him? Like, what is different about John Moxley? What has changed about him since he was Dean Ambrose? I mean, he's using different moves than when he was Dean Ambrose. He's not doing the weird, swing off the rope and then clothesline someone thing. So he's wrestling differently. But what exactly is different about him? I don't see it. I don't see what is so different about what Moxley is doing than what Dean Ambrose did. I mean, now he can be more adult. Now he can be a little bit more PG-13. Again, I'm happy for Moxley. I'm happy that now he's given a different chance because I've always liked Ambrose. But I don't see what's so different, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Main event. Sammy Guevara and Jericho versus Hangman Page and Dustin Rhodes. Jericho and Guevara win. And then, of course, it ends with another schmoz with everybody coming to the ring and beating the shit out of each other. And that's the end of the show. The show was okay. I don't know. I don't see what everyone is seeing. I'm sorry. I just don't. I'm pretty sure when the ratings come out tomorrow, it's going to show that AEW surpassed NXT. Not even to say NXT was even that much better tonight. But I just think NXT is the better show. I think it has better talent. I think it has more bigger name talent. Because I can't name anyone on AEW. I can hardly name anyone on AEW. So, hey, what's going on, Dan? But, again, pretty sure the ratings are come out and show that AEW won in the ratings. Going to NXT. Beginning of the show, it was Drew Gulak versus Leo Rush for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship now. With Leo Rush winning, which I didn't really see coming. I thought Gulak was going to win. I thought Gulak was going to retain. And no, Leo Rush won. Leo Rush wins with a frog splash, which didn't see that coming. Leo he's really come back. He was gone for a while. There was that whole controversy of what he said in that interview that he didn't want to carry everyone's bags, or I don't know if the story was that he had a bad attitude or something. What's it called? Mauro Ranallo kind of hinted at that he was dealing with some personal stuff like anxiety and depression and whatnot. So maybe that was the case. I don't know, but it's good to see Leo back. Leo's a good talent. He wasn't really doing anything with the company. He was just basically Bobby Lashley's manager, and that was bad. Like, that wasn't doing anything for him or Lashley. So it's good to see him in a wrestling role. It's good to see him in 205, or the Cruiserweight division, NXT, whatever you want to call it now. And I'm glad to see him succeed. I'm genuinely happy to see him succeed. He looks better. He seems like he's better. He seems like he's in better spirits. So, what was the next match after that? Should Hey, what's going on, Trez? The next match... I'm probably not going to go by everything in order because I'm having a hard time remembering what happened in order. But the next match was... I know it was Rhea Ripley versus somebody. And she just squashes her and then proceeds to challenge Shayna Baszler for the title, which makes sense. If anyone is going to beat Shayna, it's going to be her. And if she's not going to beat her, then you might as well just keep that title in Shayna until you can really find someone that can beat her. Or just have her retire it in NXT and then go to the main roster. I don't know. And then later on in the night, you had Bianca Belair, beat Dakota Kai. And then, cut a promo saying, Oh, by the way, everybody, just happy birthday to Trez. Happy birthday to Miss Lady Trez, as we all know. And she's about to have herself her birthday dinner. So good for you. Happy birthday. I've already said this 8 million times today. Happy birthday, Trez. Meh. Why meh, Danny? So yeah, Bianca Belair beat Dakota Kai and then cut a promo saying if anyone's going to face Shayna, it's going to be me. Which, I don't know where that's going, but whatever. I guess they're going to have a, number one contenders match. And then there was a segment with the Undisputed Era, where it was Roderick Strong facing somebody. I don't know his fucking name. It was a black guy, red trunks. I don't know his name. I forgot his name. It was like Miles something. Beats him, and then Undisputed Era come out sideways in the ring. And Velveteen Dream comes out and just starts shit-talking Roderick Strong. And then throws up the picture that he put on Instagram where he has the title over his cock. And says, after I beat you, I'm going to expose you for you coming up short or something like that. And then takes the title and then puts like a tiny, stop sign over, what his penis should be. With the assumption that, Roderick Strong has a tiny penis. Yeah, the EST chick had me like, yeah, girl. What EST chick? Yeah. And so that pisses off Roderick Strong. The girl from NXT. Yes. What girl from NXT? You talking about Rhea Ripley? I'm just awaiting Trez's response. Whoever said wants to go get Baszler. Oh yeah, that was Bianca Belair, who's already wrestled Shayna. So I don't know. I call it the whip my hair back and forth. Yeah, that's basically what her gimmick is. She has a really long ponytail. And she conveniently uses it to, I guess, hit people with, and it has like magical powers or whatever. But yeah, she's pretty good. I like her. She's married to one of the dudes from Street Profits, the Montez Ford dude, I believe. Not the big thick guy, but the one who's not thick. But yeah, anyways, going back. So yeah, that pissed off Roderick Strong. So after that, Tommaso Ciampa comes out with his crutch and then a steel chair, and then clears out the ring. And sits in the ring and goes and, calls the NXT title Goldie, because that's what he called it when he had it, and says, Daddy's home, Goldie. What happens after that? You had a promo, promoting Elias. Was it Elias Priest? I'm just going to call him Punishment Martinez, because that sounds better. Punishment Martinez, whose gimmick is that he's some type of, rock star, versus Pete Dunne next week, because, Punishment Martinez came out and attacked Pete Dunne. I'm starting to like Martinez a little bit more, because the first time I saw him, it's not that I didn't like him, I just didn't get it. I wasn't too sure about him. I don't know. Oh yeah, we'll get to the Walter match. But yeah, Punishment Martinez seems like somebody that can be something. So I don't know. We'll see more about him. And the main event was, am I saying his name right? Kushida? Kushida versus Walter. And Walter winning, of course, because why are you going to have Kushida beat Walter? Again, okay match, but it was a mismatch. I don't understand. I don't know what to say. I mean, Kushida's, from what I've seen, is pretty good. Walter is someone that probably should never lose for the longest time. He's a big, thick-looking motherfucker. He's a scary-looking motherfucker. He's not someone that would look believable losing to a guy like Kushida. So that's a guy that you keep just running through motherfuckers. And it makes sense. So yeah, that was NXT. So NXT and AEW, the shows tonight, I think AEW have maybe a little bit more of an edge. A little bit more of an edge tonight. But not the best NXT show tonight, but it was good. AEW I'm going to keep watching it, because, for the show I have to. But it's not doing anything for me. I don't see what other people are seeing. So that's NXT and that's AEW. Those are my reviews for the night. I already talked about NWA. Trez, have you watched NWA yet? The new NWA show that premiered on YouTube, Facebook? I'm currently awaiting a response. Oh, and she promoted the show too. No, while I'm awaiting a response. What else can I talk about? Yeah, we already went through Smackdown, talked about Hell in a Cell. Didn't really talk about Raw, we just talked about the ending. Talked about NWA, and then of course AEW and NXT. I mean, I don't know if we should, because I already kind of went through this earlier. How about non-wrestling stuff? Yeah, I was actually about to talk about that. So, Trez or whoever, who's ever listening. This happened last week. Martin Scorsese. Well, I can talk about the Joker for a bit. We'll talk about the Joker after this. But Martin Scorsese made a comment, putting down, superhero films, preferably Marvel films, and okay, you didn't see it. Then I'm not going to talk about the Joker because Trez hasn't seen it. I'm messing with you. I won't spoil it for you. I won't. Martin Scorsese made a comment about Marvel films. I don't have the exact quote in front of me, and saying that they're not really cinema. And in other words, doing what a lot of these actors and directors have been doing, lately, saying that they're not really movies, that, they're stupid and A, B, C, and D, which, a lot of, Marvel actors have been coming out of the woodworks, going at them. Samuel Jackson, probably saying the most Samuel Jackson thing you could think of, saying, well, not a lot of people like your movies. Who's to say that they're not cinema? They play in theaters. Robert Downey Jr. probably had the nicest, probably classiest way to go about it, where he just said, you know what, I'm not going to start a war with Martin Scorsese. He's entitled to his opinion, but it doesn't make sense to say that they're not cinema. He compared it to Howard Stern. So that's like saying Howard Stern isn't radio. He is radio. He was the king of media. He was on radio for a lot in the 90s and early 2000s. Now he has his own network. So
They play in theaters. And I think and this is just how Scorsese only has one Oscar. Good one, Danny. I lost my place. Downey had an interesting way of saying this album, deciphering it, where he said, it says a lot. A lot has to be said about this, giant, juggernaut, when it comes to like superhero films, just coming in and destroying the competition. Where, before we didn't have a lot of superhero films. And now we have, in 2021, there's going to be, 4 superhero films. It seems like there's 2 or 3 a year. 2021, there's going to be 4. There's going to be 4 huge films. And, that was maybe the classiest way he could have put it, where it's when something is popular, naturally there's going to be a lot of detractors. For bonus points, which movie was the one he got an Oscar for? I'll wait for the Jeopardy thing. Departed. Was it Departed? I think it was Departed. Hell yeah. Love that movie. And I do love Scorsese films. But here's one thing I get on my nerves for. Who the hell are these directors to say these aren't real films? They're films. They play in theaters. People pay money to go watch them. Their whole argument was those aren't real movies. So it's neither are your fucking characters. Movies are supposed to take people out of reality. You're supposed to want to go see Star Wars or Batman or the Avengers so you can take yourself out of reality. If you want to watch a movie about real life, then live real life. Those movies are entertaining because people want to watch them. We would rather, not in the woke society, yeah. I lost my fucking place again, shit. What was I going to say? People would rather pay $7, $8 to go see the Marvel movies because they're entertaining. We're not going to want to pay $8 to go watch Moonlight. And Moonlight was a very good film. But that's more of something of I'd rather watch it on home video, or I'd rather watch it on Netflix or Redbox. That's not a film I'm going to want to waste 90 minutes to go see in a theater. You know what I mean? And then you got more people doing it. You got Jennifer Aniston doing the whole, I just wish there were less Marvel movies. It's why? Why are you trashing films that people like? And somebody on Twitter, I'm forgetting the name, they named most of her popular movies, and then they said, Marley and Me was the best movie she's done, and The Dog was the bigger star of the movie. So, that's a little descriptive, Danny. And then Jennifer Lopez, same thing. Said the same thing a while back. She's promoting her movie about strippers, which, from what I heard, is pretty good and got good reviews. And while she's promoting it, she has to go after Marvel movies. If you're promoting something that you already have, why do you need to attack other movies that people like? In other words, you might have just said, those movies are dumb. Watch my movie. Trez, she was promoting the movie Hustlers, and I don't have the quote in front of me, but I just remember her saying something like, it's hard to make movies nowadays because everything is either based off of a comic book or, a franchise. Yeah, exactly. The Marvel, DC movies, those are where the money gets made. Indie movies, you don't make money. I mean, you make money, but not big money. So, and it rubs me the wrong way when I hear something like that. If you're going to promote something, promote it. I mean, if it was a joke, I know this. I know I'm not wearing a cape, but this is a pretty good movie. Don't tear down other movies. Don't make people feel stupid because they're not watching your movie. That's just me. I got into it online with somebody. I'm not going to mention them by name. Where I put on my personal Facebook, saying what I just said. Oh yeah, she does look amazing, by the way. I'm not taking anything away from her. She looks amazing. But, I just put on, Facebook and talk about superhero movies, and a couple people replied. One person replied and just took it to another level and made it seem like I was more just mad at people for not liking something I like. I mean, they still make money. At the end of the day, big franchises, big blockbuster movies are always going to make money. But anyways, going back to what I was saying, like, this person was making it seem like I was trying to, like, discredit people for not liking something I like, which is which is far from the truth. My whole thing was, if you don't like superhero movies, like, for example, my friend Eric commented on the post, and he's one of those, like, he's not really into, like, the blockbuster movies. He likes, underground indie films, which I do. I like them. I don't shit on indie films. I like them. But he was, saying that, he's not a fan of them. They suck, blah, blah, blah. And we just kind of, like, had, like, a back and forth. Not like a intense, angry back and forth. More just, like, kind of, being playful about it. And it didn't bother me that he said superhero movies suck. But, this person decides to make out to be like I'm chastising people because they don't like what I like. And blah, blah, blah. And I'm trying to convince this person it's not that I don't care. You can like what you like. You can, if you like what I like, cool. If you don't like what I like, I don't care. It's like, I'm not going to sleep at night. My only issue is if you're ignorant about it. Like, if you say, like, for example, my friend Eric said superhero movies suck. Okay. I'm not going to lose sleep at night. But if you want to make an ignorant comment like, those aren't real movies, I'm tired of these movies, they're stupid, and people are stupid for liking them. That's ignorant. That's just ignorance. So, I go after people for their ignorance. Not if they disagree with something I like, or something I said. You know what I mean? So, and it's like talking to a fucking brick wall, because I'm trying to convince this person this is what I was really trying to say, and she literally keeps repeating the same thing over and over and over and over. The only thing she saw in the argument was that I was talking about movies and not politics. She literally said that. It's like, if you were talking about politics, that'd be one thing, but movies, they're stupid. And she doesn't get what I'm trying to really say. And in the argument, she tells me to grow up. which I saw that and I just laughed and went, okay, bitch. So, again, I'm not going to lose sleep at night. But at the end of the day, they're still movies. You go to the theater and you watch them. They're based on people that don't exist. Does she realize the state of politics now and she calls movies stupid? Yeah, I agree. I'm not a political person. Never have been. I actually have a rule in this show. I don't discuss politics. I just don't. It's just... politics just make my head hurt. Because it's like you either don't know enough or you need to know enough. You know what I mean? I despise politics because regardless of what you say, you're not going to win. So I kind of just threw my hands on and went, fuck it. I'm never going to talk politics again. And I just don't care, because it seems like no one is genuine enough in the political world. You know what I mean? It's like Trump could say tomorrow that he hates all foreigners and wants to piss in their children's mouths, and Republicans will find a way to defend it. Trump supporters will find a way to defend it. So, it's just... I know it was a little extreme, but Jesus, and you say I'm graphic. Yeah, good point. Good point. I'm a little out there, Danny. But yeah, this is probably the only time you'll hear me discuss politics. But yeah, we'll close out talking about the Joker. Possibly the best thing that DC has ever put out since The Dark Knight. And that's tough for me to say because I love The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is probably my favorite movie, like, ever. And Heath Ledger is the best Joker of all time. Joaquin might add Eddie Guerrero. Oh yeah, it's also Eddie Guerrero's birthday. Eddie Guerrero would have been 52 years old. But yeah, Joker. Joaquin might just topple Heath. I don't want to spoil it because I don't want to spoil it for Trez or anyone else who hasn't seen it yet. But it's definitely not a superhero movie. You don't see any capes. You don't see any explosions. You don't see any car crashes. You don't see any aliens looking for a magical gauntlet. It's just a story about humans. It's about human emotion. It's about a guy who just has a bad day. And if you guys have ever read The Killing Joke, that's the big line in The Killing Joke, which is all it takes is one bad day. And for the Joker, he had one bad day. My girlfriend just walked in. She just saw the Joker. Mm-hmm. What did you think, babe?
It was good. Huh. I like the way it got built up to the ending. The ending was awesome.
All right. So she liked it. Her seal of approval. My girlfriend's seal of approval, and she hates everything. I'm playing. Heath better than Jack or Cesar Romero? Well, Cesar Romero was before my time. Was way before my time. Everyone likes Jack. There's always going to be people that say they like Jack over Heath, which, it's understandable. I just think Heath was better. Jack was more comical. Cesar Romero on the Batman show wasn't meant to be intimidating or scary. That show was meant to be a comedy. So, yeah, I actually told her about that, Trez. I told her that Danny got Jodie to film a message for her, and she, gave the sad face, like, she wasn't crying, by the way. She did the whole, I'm jealous. But, yeah, the movie is basically just, it's not glorifying violence. It's not glorifying a villain. What it's doing is kind of giving you an inside look on what mental health is. Like, in essence, you're rooting for the main character of Arthur Fleck, Joaquin Phoenix, to not go down a dark path. When he's put in situations where it's testing, his humanity, you're rooting for him not to do it. But then when he actually does it, it's just like, oh my God, what have we done? Not Jack Nicholson, Robert De Niro, he does a really good job in it. He's only in the movie for 15 minutes. I don't even think it was 15. It might have been like 10 minutes. 10, 12 minutes. Plays a talk show host in Gotham. There are no comic book references in here, but there kind of are. There's Thomas Wayne. There's Bruce Wayne as a kid. You guys saw in the trailer, Arthur went up to Bruce and put a smile on his face, and then it's set in Gotham. There's really nothing else I can say without spoiling it. It's just a really good movie. It's a masterpiece, and I don't really throw that word around too much. It's just a straight up masterpiece. It's a great movie. It's going to get some nomination. It's going to get an Oscar nod. Joaquin deserves an Oscar nod. The movie deserves, a Best Picture Oscar nod. Probably won't win. It'll probably lose to some movie that no one's ever heard of. But Joaquin deserves to win something. I think he should win an Oscar for this, personally. Again, bold statement. I think it's the best thing that DC's done since Dark Knight. It's not a superhero film. That's all I gotta say. It's not a superhero film. If you're going to this movie thinking you're gonna get capes and flying aliens and explosions and car chases, then you're gonna be disappointed. It's it's a slow burn throughout the rest of the movie, and then when you get to the ending, it pays off. But it's a very good movie, and you will not be disappointed. All right, I think that's the end of the show. That's really all I got to talk about in the past 7 days. Shout outs to Wrestling Soup, Mish, Joey Numbers, and John Draper. Go make sure you head to their Patreon for just $5. For just $5, you can get all types of cool shit like Global Balding with John Draper. You can get Side Saddle with John and Mish, which I think they're filming something tomorrow night. And then the Don, Tony, Kevin Castle show with Don, Tony, Kevin Castle. Make sure you head to their Patreon. For just $5, you can get shows like Breakfast Soup with Don, Tony, and Mish from Wrestling Soup. And with Kevin Castle, he has two shows. Can you believe that? He has his solo show, which is called Castle Chronicles, and then he has Dark Chronicles with the birthday girl Trez. So catch that out. I have their new episode on my phone downloaded. I just haven't listened to it yet, but I will later. All right, Texas Podcast Massacre. They review horror movies from yesteryear to today. Even bad movies, and they make it very entertaining. Been on the show twice. I might be on soon. I don't know. I don't want to jinx myself, so it's up to them. The Trademark Show with Tyler. Find his show anywhere. You can find it on Spotify, which is where I listen to it. And then Wrestling Court with Julian. Another good friend of the show. Good dude. He was at New York Comic Con with John Draper. Haven't finished that episode yet. You can find his show on Spotify. Fox Count Radio with Andrew Carlick and Mark. Good dudes. Talk to him a lot on Twitter. The Architect Podcast with Derek and Irving. They go more into the nerd culture than I do. Peter Position with Peter. I don't know if he has started. I think he had like a reboot of his show. I don't know if it was a reboot or like a hiatus, but he's about to start pretty soon. So, and I'm forgetting other names. I think that's it. That's pretty much it. That's all my shout-outs. If I'm forgetting a name, I'm sorry. But I will be back next week. Same time, same channel. Maybe I'll do something on Friday for the draft. I don't know. But I don't like to make promises. I just like to put it out there that I might be doing something. So I will see you guys next week. Appreciate all the love. Appreciate anyone who listens to the show. Clicks on the downloads. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Drew Yari Show. And that is it. See you guys later. Peace.